Hello there, friends. I'm trying to give you as many angles and corners of my apartment as I possibly can. But when we're online, there are so many different people saying that you have to do this and you have to do that. This is the only strategy to use, and telling you what kind of business that you should be running, all this different stuff. But the thing is, I used to think that knowing what to do, the right things to do for me, I used to really struggle with that. But if we're really honest with ourselves and we learn to trust ourselves more, we know what our hearts individually call out for. And no one person can really give any advice about what that thing that you wholeheartedly want to pursue actually is. Now, the thing is, we can offer guidance and hints and tips and tricks, or all the good stuff. But I went out for a walk today. I've not actually been out for a long walk for quite a while, and I walked over to the Chatsworth Christmas market and I bought a couple of things over there, some of them for everyday use, and then some other stuff maybe for Christmas, whatever. But I'm reminded that you've got to find the humanity in things. It can be very, very easy to be really against the world. And there are actually very few priorities that really matter in life. And being a good person to other people is really important, if only for yourself, so that you can conduct your life in as joyful a way as possible, which will have an absolutely enormous knock-on effect for the rest of the people around you, for everything that's going on. The more joyful people that there are in the world, the better. And the more joyful people there are, the more solutions you are absolutely going to find. And I have tried, I don't know the official number, but I have tried so many different things, different kinds of business and different jobs, and trying to make various relationships work. But I've always known that my instincts have served me well, or had I have followed them more closely, if I had been more faithful with my gut instincts, I would be in a very different position right now. And it might sound trite, and we've all heard these things over and over again, but we all have, every single person on the planet has the same 24 hours in one day. And there is a massive gulf between a very small group of people and the rest of humanity, of what that small group of people really achieve and what the rest of people dream about doing or fantasize about doing. But with everybody, whatever platform it's on, wherever I've met them, I'm having a very similar conversation with people, actually, that people say, well, how do you imagine this? How do you imagine that? And so I'm not really interested in imagining things anymore. I want real life. I want to get things done. And today, my friends, if I needed to remind you, is the 1st of December. It's the final month of 2025, right? So that means 31 days, including today, and yes, there's Christmas, but 31 days to actually kickstart your purposefulness, a real opportunity to start knuckling down and pursuing things that you really want to do. And where I come in, which I feel like I've been working on for a very long time, I'll be honest. Where I come in is being able to offer emotional and psychological support, because whether people admit it or not, we all need a helping hand. But also, I have learnt a lot of sort of strategic knowledge. And God, can you hear that? Ah, that's rain, my friends. Look at it. Look. You can tell the rain's really coming down there. Wow. This is proper Derbyshire weather. But, you know, strategic knowledge that I have and wisdom to share. And a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. But I've known for a long time what it is that I really need to do. And priorities are one thing, knowing the handful of things that are going to move the needle towards the direction that you want to go in. But it's consistency, you know, sticking with the priorities, holding to your commitment. Because in fact, one of the main reasons, the chief reason for my moving back to this village where I spent the majority of my childhood is to be as close to my childhood home that I ultimately will buy back. And I've always had that end goal in mind. But what I felt was that the hows and the what to do sort of evaded me. That's not true. What actually evaded me was the courage and the willingness to be able to step out, sometimes into the dark, and not know exactly where I'm going. It's really funny. People keep up with fashions, and once you've seen a gadget or a gizmo from on one person, you'll see everybody doing it. And the thing is, obviously, it is getting dark at night. But this, where I live, it's very, very well lit. But you've got these ultra middle class people with minus lights on their head. I don't know how they actually attach them. I haven't even looked, because I would never in a million years buy one of these things to go out for a walk, you know, as they're walking their dogs along the footpath. They've all got these blindingly bright minus lights on their head whilst wearing, you know, their Burberry raincoat. And it's really, really funny. But the thing is, they're following, you know, the done thing, but they're not necessarily really getting anywhere in particular. And that's the point. I do firmly believe that we are designed to achieve things. And part of achievement for me is actually overcoming that fear of not knowing exactly what it is that I'm doing. And that's part of my very, very obvious perfectionism. But I know that when I get to the end of a day and I've done all of the things, I keep using this phrase, to move the needle, you know, that I'm captain of my ship and I'm heading to wind, and I'm moving gradually and steadily and surely towards what I really, really want to do. And I have a million and one ideas. I have many, many ideas, and I can actually, there are lots of side paths off the main path that I can see in time. I can absolutely visualize and feel what it would be like to achieve all of these different things. But you have to focus in on one key goal, you know, one key path, and follow that to the end and get really, really good at it, and do all of the subtasks that are necessary to actually get to that point. And that's why whenever we talk about achieving goals, it's why people will always, 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 without fail, talk about patience. Because we're told there isn't enough time, and it's a lie. It is the 1st of December as I am recording this. think about what you could actually achieve if you really knuckled down and consistently worked for 6 months to a year. And I say this as a man in my mid-40s. I'm going to be halfway to 50 next year. But 6 months to a year, one business, one goal, one fitness strategy, one difficult piece of music to play on the piano, whatever it might be, to produce a certain amount of artworks, whatever your calling is. Imagine if you've really focused in for 6 months, and imagine how satisfying that will feel on a day-to-day basis as you get into bed and thinking, yes, today was a good day. Today was a strong day. Today I was full of purpose. I was productive. I got things done that make my heart sing. Wonderful. That is what life is really meant to be about. And you can do it. And you can make 2026 your year. Guess how? By starting 2025 right now.